Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So guys, so much going on in this little shop. I don't even know where to start. So, let me start. I seem to be starting with the green Gia over there a lot recently. So let me just start with that. So Rafa worked on it a little bit today, not as much as he has been. He kind of spread his workload around a little bit. But let me go ahead and start with this one. So the donor Gia that we got actually has pretty nice door hinges on it, and so we are going to utilize those hinges on this car. So that's one thing. So Rafa removed those, and he actually removed the doors and strip them down. The doors are really nice, the doors themselves. So we're going to use the doors on the donor 68 are going on the other 68, the blue 68. There's so many 68s around here, it's a little confusing. But anyway, yeah, the doors themselves are going to be used on that car. The hinges are going to go to this one, and then if need be, we'll find a set of hinges for that one when the time comes. But anyway, yeah, so that happened today. And let's see what else. He also started, so again, on a Gia, a little bit more of a pain than on, say a Beetle. He did start test fitting the glove box, the actual box, which is not in there right now, but you have to do a certain amount of trimming on these, and then the hood release itself mounts on it, but there's not really any holes or provisions for that, so you have to kind of make a template and figure out where that's going to go. Unlike a Beetle where the glove box pretty much just goes in and there's a strap that goes around it and holds it in. Well, that's not totally true. On later Beetles where the hood release is in the glove box, you also have to kind of monkey around with that. But somehow on Gias, it's a little harder, like almost everything else on Gias. So anyway, yeah, he worked on that for a while. And I think that may have actually been it on this one. As I mentioned, the doors off the donor car, which we will again be using on the other 68, those he went ahead and stripped all down, so those will be ready to have their respective body work and stuff done on. Although they're pretty nice, I don't think they're gonna really need a lot. But yeah, and then just running an errand this morning, Rafa had to pick up some sandblasting sand, primarily for the 68 Gia. We got to do a lot of sandblasting on that car. And again, obviously, I'm not talking about this one. We're not going to be doing any sandblasting on this one. The other 68, the blue 68. So that was pretty much Rafa's day. Other than, why don't we go ahead and, since this was the thumbnail, and I'll talk about this. Another thing Rafa did briefly, which we pretty much, let's see, I think literally every member of my team, there's 6 of us total. Jacob was here today. We all kind of pitched in and grabbed a section of this body and set it on the chassis. So pretty exciting, pretty big day here for the Java Green, formerly Pearl White 67. It is now sitting on its chassis. Look at that, guys. Love it. Everything all freshly powder coated here, including the chassis itself and the suspension. Well, you see at least the spring plates on the back. There's the front suspension right there, partially assembled. A lot of that is paint instead of powder coat because these things are full of grease and there's not really a good way to clean them out. So these we end up painting and clear coating with automotive grade paint, so it ends up being a very durable finish. But anyway, yeah, so this is partially assembled. And yeah, so we went ahead and put that on, went on. Everything's lining up really quite nice as expected. Again, the chassis itself was done at Washburn's Metal. They put in new floors. They repaired some broken welds on the clutch cable tube. And I think they repaired one or both of these heater cable tubes that you see there, the ones that kind of run under the back seat on later cars. And but yeah, and of course when they put in the floors, like everything's done on a jig, so you don't go to put it on the body and find out that all your holes are off by half an inch or something. If you just put a chassis together on sawhorses in your driveway or whatever, kind of hard to guarantee everything is level and in the right place and stuff like that. So let the guys do that who do that all day, every day at Washburn's Metal, and you will not regret it. And the price is pretty reasonable too. I don't want to quote the price, but I think for what you get, definitely not worth doing it yourself unless you're really, really on a tight budget. But anyway, so yeah, check with those guys, Washburns, if you're doing a car and you need your chassis refurbished, restored, actually nicer than new, then those are your guys. Anyhow, yeah, so pretty much put those together, and I think we set it down initially, and I think it was Rafa sort of eyeballed a couple holes. They were off a little bit. We moved the body, I think, forward by maybe ½ inch, and then boom, pretty much everything lined up. So super smooth. And then for most of the rest of the day, Jacob pretty much started going around bolting them together, the chassis and the body, that is. So I did forget to buy the special washers that go right there. I'll have those tomorrow, so those are, obviously not tightened down, but yeah, everything else is pretty much in. There was one broken bolt about there on the other side, which I guess I had kind of forgot about. I think I'm actually the one who unbolted this body from its chassis back in the day, so apparently I forgot that one broke off. Oops. So yeah, not a huge deal. Now we just gotta lay up underneath there and drill that out and tap it, and that's not the end of the world. Anyway, but yeah, other than that, everything's super smooth. Everything is like new, or probably in fact better than new. And there you go, guys. So huge day for the 67. All right, another pretty big day for this bad boy, the 60 Baja. And I don't think I showed its I don't think I showed the carpet since it was done. I may have, but if I did, you get to see it again. Anyway, so there's a carpet and all up in front. And we decided to, even though this car is a 60, we decided to kind of, I hate to say backdate, but we decided to use slightly earlier mats. And so what I really wanted to do on this car was have the floor mats be easily removable, because it is a Baja Bug. I know these guys want to take this thing to the beach and stuff. And so in 60, if I'm not mistaken, the floor mat for the front of the car was like one piece that went over the tunnel and contained both of the the actual floors. And those, frankly, are a pain in the ass to remove, because you have to sort of peel them over the shifter, and if you have the knob on here, you have to remove the knob or whatever. It's really a pain. And so I decided to use 56 to 59 mats, which, of course, still fit everything incredibly well, but they don't have that angled panel over there, which the car was missing anyway. And then again, the tunnel mat and the floor mats are separate. So I think for this car, being a Baja Bug, and I know these guys want to like take this thing to the beach and stuff, much better to have these where they can come out, they can take these out, they can hose them off, they can vacuum around, the floor underneath there if they want, or whatever. And we did put some sound insulation on underneath of it. So yeah, I think for this car and the way they're going to use it, this was the right way to do it. Anyway, so other than that, we're still waiting on seat frames from powder coating, and we're still waiting on the 2 front seat bottoms to come from our guy that we usually get seat frames from. However, in the meantime, went ahead and started popping some windows back in this baby. So you can see the 2 rear quarter windows and the rear window are in. New seals, of course, new trim. Still a little smudged looking from putting them in. By the way, we use WD-40 on the seals to put them in, and they go in pretty easily with a nice thick cord. And but anyway, then they're a mess to clean up afterwards. But yeah, so those windows are in. The windshield, I was going to put theirs back in, and it had a big crack right across it. So I've got a new windshield coming tomorrow, and then If not by the end of this week, then probably early next week, we'll go ahead and put the windshield in. I think I have the vent wing seals. Those are the ones that go on the door frame around here. I think I've got a set coming tomorrow from West Coast Metric or maybe from CIP1, the guys in Canada. When I ordered them from West Coast Metric, they said they were out of stock, and I don't think they knew when they were going to come. But I went ahead and kept the order in anyway. And then I also found that CIP1 had them in stock, so I ordered them from them. I think I may just get them from everyone. So I may end up with some redundant sets of those. But I know for a fact that Wolfsburg West said they're not supposed to get theirs in until like the end of the year. So I'll just put them in our stash if I end up with some extras. And, next time a 64 or down car comes in that needs them, then I'll have them, because apparently they're kind of hard to get right now. Anyway, so yeah, once those seals come in, I have all the rest of the seals to put all this together. And in fact, today I even started, let's see if these are over here somewhere. I started went ahead and put these together. So the divider bars that have the felt channel on one side, that's where the window slides up and down. And then on the other side, it's got the seal for the vent wing that the vent wing closes against. So I went ahead and prepared those. So those are ready to go together for the Baja Bug. And likewise for this one, which was also waiting on those seals, I also went ahead and at least cleaned theirs up. So these are ready to put the felt channels and the vent wing seals in. So yeah, we got two, 64 down cars that need the doors fully built out. So some redundancy going on here. Let's see. The other thing I did today, which I don't have show and tell because they're sitting outside drying still, is I went ahead and I cleaned and masked off the two front rotors. So again, this car is getting upgraded to disc brakes in front. So cleaned, masked off, and painted the two front disc brake rotors for this car, as well as its giant master cylinder, which again comes from Air-Cooled Vintage Works, big 25 millimeter master cylinder that they feel incredible, guys. Those things give you so much stopping power, it's not even funny. So check that out at Air-Cooled Vintage Works. Anyway, so painted that stuff to get ready for this car. And I know what else, guys. Yeah, those things. So I finally ended up pulling out both sets of Empi torsion springs. So this is what they look like if you're not familiar with them. Like literally just long, thin, bands or whatever you want to call them, strips of spring steel that go together to form the torsion. Basically like torsion bars essentially, but made out of, strips. Anyway, guys, I couldn't get the front end together and in spec with those, so I finally yanked those both out and put the front end back together with the original torsion leaves out of the beam that came off the car. And now everything, so again, it's the offset between there and there. Everything's in spec now, so I can put it on the car and I can set the king and link pin carriers up correctly with the right number of shims. Nothing's going to bind. I would not have been able to do that, guys, with the Empi springs. So I need to call my Empi distributor and I don't know, see if he can take those back or something, but totally unusable. By the way, I did also, before I put the original ones in here, I lined them up on the bench with the Empi ones, and you could see that let me just walk back over here. So when I lined them up on the bench, basically lined up the centers, so that's as like a reference, that's where it goes in the center of the beam. So pretty much I took the aftermarket Empi ones and the original ones, lined them up perfectly in the center, and then checked, where the ends were. And yeah, not surprisingly, where the dimple on the end is on these aftermarket ones, it was offset by, a good, a few millimeters or so. And I don't remember in which direction. So I think one of them was in one direction, the other was in the other, and they're just kind of a mess. So I couldn't use them. So again, I will see what Empi has to say about that. Hopefully they'll take him back and give me credit, or I don't know, guys. Anyway, a little disappointing. But yeah, that was that. That's what I ended up having there. Just ended up reusing the original ones, which probably in hindsight is what I should have done in the first place. But anyhow, so yeah, went ahead and prepared those and or that front end there and got that ready. And let's see, guys. I think that pretty much also sums up my day. Let me look at my cheat sheet real quick. Okay, yep. That was pretty much it. So yeah, lots going on here today. We worked on, let's see, just inside the shop, 1, 2, 3, 4 cars inside the shop, and the 68, the other 68 Gia outside the shop. So yeah, not a bad day. Lots going on 5 cars, actually 6 cars. So Santiago did a little bit more upholstery on this one. There's just a couple little details that needed to be done. If I can make my way back here through this maze without killing myself, then I'll show you that the back seat is going in, guys, and look at that. I will remind you that this is leather, so there you go, guys. Looks amazing, right? And he did fabricate a little piece that you can see right here, this kind of curved piece to cover basically the body. Shows right there. So he made that little cover to cover that piece there. And so yeah, there we go, guys. Look at that. Looks amazing. And yeah, so he finished putting those in with the hinges and everything. And that piece that I just mentioned, you can see it better on this one. So he made one for this car too. This little piece here, because when the seat is folded down, some of that is kind of exposed there. So, or actually when the seat's up, you can potentially see a little bit of that in that space. So there you go, guys. Anyway, so yeah, we worked on what, 6 or 7 cars today, something like that. Pretty good day here in the shop. So for today, that is all, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for those of you that stuck it out to the end here, 17 minutes and change. So thanks again, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.